Hey there, gorgeous. I hope that you're doing well. It's such a joy to see you. This video is all about your makeup tips that you wish you had known sooner. I did a video last week talking about ones that I wish I had known sooner, and you all had so many amazing tips that I wanted to try, and so that's what this video is all about. And Tilly says hi. The first tip comes from Model Face Makeup, and I love this tip. It makes so much sense. She had said what she does before she applies any of her makeup is skincare first, and then the next step after that is to apply a peach color corrector. I feel like you could also use green color correctors, yellow, purple, whatever you need on your skin at this point. Blended it in, and then she says she sets it with a setting spray before she moves on to the next step of her makeup routine. Genius! I love this. This is actually what I feel like the way I feel like we should be applying color correctors anyway, because it's part of laying down that base before applying any makeup over the top. So I love this tip, and it worked beautifully, by the way. So thank you for that. The next one I have to share with you comes from Metallic Muse, and she had recommended combining a little bit of highlighter with the concealer that you apply to the outer half, the outer corner of your eye. Let me rephrase this. It's a little hard to think when I have a cat rubbing on my arm. In the video where I had talked about the 7 tips I wish I had known sooner, I had mentioned putting concealer on the outer corner of the eye. I learned this from Robert Welsh. It helps to create lift, and it brightens up the outer corner of your eye. Well, she had added that if you add a little bit of highlighter to that concealer into the area, it will also help to brighten and lift the outer corner of the eye. And so I tried that, and it really does. It looks beautiful. Now, you don't need much. I used a little bit of the highlighter from the Profusion Highlight and Contour palette, and a little bit went a very long way, but I was amazed at how bright the outer corner of my eye and just my overall eye looked after doing this. And she had said that she uses the Essence Camouflage Concealer with a small dab of e.l.f.'s Halo Glow, and it looks marvelous. Another concealer tip comes from Tammy, and she had mentioned that she always struggles with creasing under the eye. And what she does now is applies it only to the inner half underneath the eye, blends it in, and then she goes back with a brush to buff it out to the outer half of the eye. So if this describes you and it's been a struggle for you, this is a wonderful tip. And I loved it because I feel like for most of us, this really is all that we need. I mean, honestly, if you were to look down in your mirror before you apply your makeup and you see where the shadows naturally hit your under eye area, that's really the only area that you should be applying concealer to anyway, unless you have like hyperpigmentation and really dark circles, and then you probably need a little bit more coverage. Great tip nonetheless, so thank you for that. Holly Pedrin had mentioned Risa Does Makeup, who I love her, so I'm glad that you mentioned her. She said that she learned from her to set her concealer with a little bit of setting spray, and specifically the way that she said that she does it is she sprays the setting spray on the top of her hand, taps her finger into the spray, and then taps it over the top of the concealer. And she says it's a game changer for her. And I tried this, and I've done this tip before in the past, and I absolutely love it. It is one of the best ways to set concealer, especially if you don't want to use powder, if you don't want that cakey look underneath your eye, or you want something that's lighter, or maybe you have dry skin. It's an excellent game changer makeup tip. So thank you for sharing that. Dee, I had to mention your tip. I'm so sorry this happened to you. This is what Dee said. She said, my top tip of all time is to never ever use an eyelash curler while propping your elbow up on your makeup table. She said she did, and it slipped, and she pulled all the lashes out of her right eye. Dang, woman. Oh my gosh, yes. Well, thank you for sharing that, because we can learn in that sense too, right? I've made a lot of those mistakes in my life for sure. This next tip comes from AU Applemac 2441. By the way, I don't like how YouTube is doing the whole name change thing in the comment section. It used to be that people's names would come up with the comment, and now it's reverting back to the YouTube username. It's completely funky. I don't know what's going on with that, but anyway, I just had to say that. She had mentioned a tip for solving lipstick creases around the lips, or even migrating lipstick. So if you have a struggle with that, try this tip because it does work. After you've applied your foundation, take a little bit of primer. It can be face primer, it can be eyeshadow primer. I'm using the Milani eyeshadow primer here, and press it into the creases around your mouth. Let it dry, and then pat a little bit of powder over the top. And then be sure to dust off any excess powder that may be lingering. Then apply your lip liner and your lipstick, and this helps to keep everything in place. Amazing tip! Love it! Thank you! I really love this tip. I wanted to share it with you too. For those who have a heavy hand when it comes to blush, it just makes sense. This is from ECMKAD, and she had said that if you have pale lips, it fools us into thinking that we need more color on our face, which makes us apply more blush than what we need. So she had recommended applying your lipstick before your blush in order to eliminate that problem. And that it does help. It does work. So something to remember if you get a little heavy-handed with the blush too. I get heavy-handed because I just get excited. I'm just like, oh, color, put it on, let's go. Monica Lemmer had an amazing tip for those of you who are of a more mature skin type and maybe struggling with drier skin, or you're looking for a more youthful glow to your skin. This is absolutely amazing. You have to try this. So she said what she does is she puts a dab of moisturizer on her cheek first, and then she takes a little bit of lipstick and blends it over the top of the moisturizer to create a cream cheek color. Look at this. Look at how beautiful this blends and the color that it provides. It was absolutely gorgeous. And the lipstick that I'm using, by the way, here is the one from LYS Beauty. I'm wearing it in today's video too. This is in the shade Sincere, and this makes for the most beautiful cream cheek color also, as well as lipstick. So love this tip. Love it. Thank you. This next tip comes from Niam Longan. The tip is to tight line the upper waterline on the outer corner of the eye. And she said it dramatically opens up my eyes, and I feel like it makes my eyes look really blue. So I tried this. You could see from one eye to the next what it does. What I felt like it did was it made my eye more pronounced on the side where I had done it. And I like it because it doesn't go all the way to the inner corner, because I don't know about you, but I'm so ticklish. I cannot do a waterline eyeliner on my upper lash line to save my life. Like, I just never have been able to do it. So applying it to the outer corner, that's good for me. And it did look really nice. Target. I've been shopping there too much lately. Anne Payne had such a simple but effective tip, and she said that she always runs her hands under very warm water before applying concealer or foundation. Now, for those of us who have cold hands all the time, all the time, I agree with you, because when my fingers are cold, when my hands are cold, it is so hard not only to apply makeup, but then also to get everything to blend in effectively. And so I usually will rub my hands on my pants or like this, you know, that type of thing, but warm water is definitely more effective. The most upvoted comment on that video came from 1114 Kristen, and she had talked about having chicken skin around her eyes, so when she tries to put concealer there, it's like trying to get the butter to stick to the turkey before you cook it. Which is a great analogy. But I loved her tip also. She said she always sprays a little setting spray on a sponge and then dabs it over her concealer after applying. It helps to keep it in place and makes everything look smooth. And this is a very effective tip. And I love that you mentioned it, and it's something that works really well for you. Kelly's Closet had another really amazing tip that I've done in the past, and it does work really well. And that's to apply your setting spray on your face first before any of your makeup application. And they do make setting sprays that are specifically like that. I believe they're called primer sprays. Some of them will actually say they're a primer spray, a setting spray, and even sometimes a refresher spray. But yes, it's absolutely worth it. She says the reason that it works is because it creates a barrier between the oil your face makes and the makeup. So if you struggle with that, you're looking for a new method, new way to apply your makeup, definitely try that one. Now that we're at the end of the video, I want to have just a brief heart-to-heart chat with all of you, and I want to ask what you want to see. What do you want to watch on this channel? I've been doing makeup and beauty now for close to 12 years. It's a long time. And I'm not saying I don't like it. I do. I love it. But I mean, I have a lot of interests, you know, and I would like to start incorporating more of those interests in as well. I mean, I don't want to be just beauty. There's other things, you know, and so I just want your feedback. What do you want to see? Just to give you an idea, I love home organization. I love decorating, interior decorating. I love gardening. I've been gardening now for 3 years. I have 3 kids, as many of you know. I've learned a lot being a parent. Would never try to push my views on anyone, but I feel like I have learned things that could help someone that I wish I had known before I started. There's so many things that I could talk about. I just don't know which direction to take the channel in. And so that's why I may make a separate video on this. I just want honest feedback. So let me know your thoughts. I would love to hear what you have to say. But that was it. I hope that you have a beautifully blessed weekend ahead. I speak love, peace, and joy into you and into your home. And I look forward to seeing you again next time.